I played. I didn't play a game, Spencer. I played a console. You can just put up a PS5 trailer if you want. Because I recently got a PS5 like 2 weeks ago, or week and a half. I forget. It was like, it was the worst time for me to order it because I ordered it from Walmart. I got the PS5 Slim, and then we got hit by a really bad snowstorm. We got like eight inches of snow,
Hmm.
and it was like my shipment kept being delayed because they couldn't get out here to deliver it. So I finally got it set up, and I'm just gonna talk about maybe some of the games I've played, some experiences. I haven't played anything like too in depth that I really feel comfortable just dedicating today. So I just kind of wanted to go over my new experiences as a PS5 user and like what I think so far, some of the games I've been enjoying, and so on. So I got it. I set it up. The first thing I did was I have a 4 terabyte external hard drive that I used for my PS4. That was actually like it's actually like a PC external. It has like its own power source because I bought it
Hmm.
before they had the little externals. I bought it back in like 2016.
Oh, damn.
So I moved that over to my PS5 because I figured if it plays PS4 stuff, I really won't use my PS4 much. Like, I'll keep it, and maybe I think I might use it for VR stuff because like the PS4 VR headset needs a special adapter for PS5, so I could just keep all my VR stuff on that PS4 console and use it for VR if I ever wanted to play it.
Hmm.
So I moved everything over and I plugged in that 4 terabyte external hard drive. And as soon as it like configured and like formatted to the PS5, all like 400 something PS4 games that were saved to it just popped up. It was like, yeah, here you go, you can play. I
That's
was like,
nice.
damn, what? So yeah, that was a nice little surprise. And then I went and I was like, managing stuff. Right now, I have three physical games. I have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I've owned that for like a couple years now because I played it over at my mom's house on her PS5.
Hmm.
So, but then the ones I bought Persona 3 Reload and Final Fantasy 16. So those are like the ones I've really been playing.
Okay.
And then I have a few digital games. Like I said, I accidentally bought Monster Hunter Rise. I haven't really played much of it. The game I was meaning to buy was a Bit Trip Rerunner, which is a remake of one of the Bit Trip games. It's like half remake, half creation tool because you can make levels and share them and stuff. So it's kind of cool. And that's so far that's the only PS5 game I've actually beaten because it takes like 2 hours. So I was
Okay.
having fun playing that. And then something cool that happened also was I've had this same PlayStation account since the PS3, which is like 2011 or something. So as you can imagine, I've made a lot of purchases on the
Hmm.
same account throughout the years.
Yeah.
So back on PS3 and also on PSP, they had PS Classics where you can buy PS1 and PS2 games. And then at one point, I also had a PS TV, which was the plug-in version of the Vita.
Yeah.
And on there, I also bought a few like PSP games and stuff. And then I actually sold that Vita. I bought that Vita for $20 and I flipped it for 100 because it during the pandemic it like shot up in value for some reason, and I was like, I'm not playing this thing, so I made some money off of it. Um, well, apparently all those purchases still count, and recently, like they didn't do it on PS4 really, but recently they've been putting out older games. I guess to like fill in their PS Plus catalog. Now that like they have a streaming service.
Hmm.
I found out that any of those games that I bought, like PS1 games, PS2 games, PSP games, if I bought them before, they just count them as me owning them still. So I like got to download PS5 ports of like old games, like some like Ape Escape games, some Jack games, like Dino Crisis, Legacy of Kain, and stuff. It's like I had already owned these games before, so they were like, "Okay, you still own them," and I was like, "That's cool." I was like, "That's not something I was expecting. I was expecting to have to buy them again." Um, so neat. I'm glad my purchase that I made on a PlayStation TV still counts. It's just very funny. Um, And I've been playing around with some PS4 games. Kind of, it's a nice way to re-experience some old games that I still own. That I can play. So yeah, we could talk a little bit about what I've been playing and overall, like my overall thoughts. The one I've played the most of my new games is Final Fantasy 16. And I was excited to get to play this finally, but also hesitant because just like every new Final Fantasy entry, it's terrifying to see what they're doing now because they never it's probably the most inconsistent franchise at this point. It's like, if you tell somebody like, "Oh man, I love Final Fantasy 10," and then they go, "Should I pick up 15 or should I pick up the?" I'm like, "No." Because it's not 10. Like it's not it's never going to be that game you loved again. Like that's
Hmm.
what Final Fantasy is, after 7 basically. It's like that's how Final Fantasy's worked. It's like if you love any of the games, you're going to love that one game. And then you're going to be disappointed by the other games.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah.
16 has been interesting because it's Witcher. They did a Witcher. It's basically The Witcher,
Mm-mm.
but but like anime Final Fantasy boy. I've been enjoying the plot so far. I'm about I think I checked. I was like 12 hours in or something, or maybe a little more than that. I've been enjoying the plot. Um, there's definitely some issues with the way the game's set up. The thing you were talking about earlier with just jumping location to location is definitely prevalent.
Oh, I
There's a
thought it was
map.
open.
No, there's a map system. And
Oh.
you go, oh, we need to go to the Deadlands. And then you click on the Deadlands, and it's like, hey, we're at the Deadlands. I'm so glad we're here. And yeah, it makes some of the areas in the game feel so disconnected for me because it's like, oh, we need to go to this castle to fight this lady, and then you go there, and it's like, okay, let's climb the castle. It's like, well, um, the gameplay is an action game now, which I know some people like Spencer weren't happy about. Um, there was a lot of comparisons to Devil May Cry when it was being shown and stuff. No, no, it
Hmm.
is way too simple to be a
Hmm.
Devil May Cry game. It is. This is not a character action game. This is not on the same level as even like Nier Automata. This is not. There's nowhere near that. There's nowhere near that. Um, this is it is a hack and slash game, but it's very simple. You basically have one button that does your sword, one button that does like your spells, and then you can do like some special attacks and some dodges and stuff. That's it. And it is fun. Like the gameplay is a lot of fun. I picked the hardest difficulty when you start it. It's like, do you want to do story or action? It's basically easy or normal. And even on normal, my God, is it forgiving? Even whenever you like fall in battle, whenever you are fighting, you have potions mapped to your like D-pad, and you can just use them while you're fight, which is nice. Whatever, you could heal. If you fall in battle, say I'm fighting a boss and I have one potion. If I fall during the boss fight, when the boss fight restarts, I'm gonna have 6 more potions magically. They just gave me 6 more potions, and then it's like, okay, so there's no real challenge because you're just gonna help me through it. I have heard that once you finish it, it does unlock like a hard difficulty, and I'm kind of like, why couldn't I just play that from the beginning? Because that's what I
Right.
want is that like I want the challenge. And like I don't want to have to replay the game to get the challenge. So that's lame. Um, but the visuals are nice, the story's nice, and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I can nitpick a lot of things, and I will. I'll talk about this game at some point once I beat it. But so far, it's been fun, and
With 16, they could not have marketed it worse for me. Like
yeah,
I'm sure it was great for some people. They could not have made it any further from my interests. And I wanted to like want to play it, and it just every time they would announce things about it, it's just like further and further away, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, bye, okay. It's just like it's like Game of Thrones. I'm like, oh, I hate Game of Thrones. I can't stand it.
yeah.
And like it's like okay, well, I'm sure all these RPG like JRPGs are making a comeback, like turn-based RPGs, so I'm sure they'll go back to that. Like, no, it's gonna be like, and they said Devil May Cry. I'm like, oh, what? Oh no. Well, all right, I can do action games. It's fine. Like, it's still an RPG. They're like, there's basically no stats. I said, oh, Oh,
No, I would argue that there's still stats. You still get equipment, and you still level up, and you still have like a skill system, like like upgrades and stuff. So
I was told that the equipment you get is like barely stats. Like
eh,
it's like I don't really know because I
that's
didn't play, but
it. Just but the same thing. It'll up your attack or whatever stat it's tied to. Something that was also annoying though. You start out with a set of equipment, and it's basically like help you evade, help you heal, help like auto evade. It's like okay, these are baby mode equipment. Like I didn't
mm.
put any of them on my character because I was like, I'm not using these.
They're like the equipment that just automates like tasks if you didn't
It's
know how to do it.
weird. Why would you want to create a cinematic action game and then you're afraid to have your players do any action?
Mm.
You're terrified you're going to isolate them, but you're isolating the people that are play the genre you're making.
That is kind of my thing. Is like I feel like that when they make these kinds of games, they're like their opinion of their audience
Yeah.
appears to be so low. It's like, wouldn't it be great? Like I think our players are struggling because the bosses are hard. What do you do? Like, give them infinite potions. Like, give them, like, make it literally impossible to lose this fight. Okay, they love it. They'll love this.
And again, I know it sounds like I'm shitting on this game a lot, but there are aspects I like, and like I don't think it's all bad. It's definitely more bearable than like fucking 13. For me, I would play this over 13 any day of the fucking week. So that's already a plus. And 15, honestly, I didn't like. Even though I like the openness of 15, I did not like the gameplay of
Mm.
15 one bit. Um, so at least it's better on that front. Final Fantasy is kind of a lost cause these days with with their newer entries. I more just play them out of curiosity
Yeah, yeah. How
to
far
see what's.
from the soul from Final Fantasy
Yeah,
have they gone this time? Oh, very far.
but like and honestly, like because we talked about it on the archive. I hated remake whenever it came out. And then over time, I kind of came to appreciate it a little more. So I think after playing through all of 7 Remake last year, like that's why I'm kind of enjoying 16 a little more, because it's basically just another action game.
Mm.
7 Remake has more turn-based elements to it, though. With the switching characters and like commanding stuff. Um, so I'm excited to see Rebirth, but I am playing 16. I also started and I've played maybe about 5 hours of Persona 3 Reload, which I want to get more into. Um, and I do enjoy it. I had played a little bit before on Game Pass, and then I put it down because I decided I wanted to wait till I bought a copy of it to really dive into it.
Mm.
So here I am, and it's good. I liked Persona 5 quite a bit, so it's nice to play another Persona game and get to do that. I can definitely tell that the like 5 is a better game overall than 3. But I'm trying not to let it detract from what I'm enjoying about 3 right now.
Yeah, yeah. 5 is to me better in all fronts. The only one I would say is like 4 has I think better characters. I would argue.
It's weird 4 hasn't gotten a remake.
Like yeah,
I know
a big
4 is
remake. It's
4 is like
gotten
the
like
beloved one. Yeah.
it got like the remake came out on PS Vita,
Yeah,
and then
gold, right?
yeah, and then that one got ported over to like Steam and everything. But no, yeah, you're right. It hasn't gotten like a full on like HD exciting remake. Maybe that'll come later.
But the so far the characters have been great. The gameplay's Persona, so it's really good. The music's fucking fantastic. It's like
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I love about the Persona games is that they just kind of envelop you in style and music while you're playing it. So I'm doing like the battles for this one, and it has that one song. It's like, oh yeah, da 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 da, baby baby. I mean, it's like man, this is a jazzy fucking fight. I can I'm imagining getting into like a street fight, and then like this jazzy ass music starts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Da, 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 da.
Hell yeah. Yeah, they got good music on that series.
Yeah. So I'm not that far. I'm like I think in Tartarus I'm like I think I just hit like floor 13 or something. So I'm climbing. I'm climbing.
You know what sucks about that though is that the best Persona 3 was actually on the PS2. It was called Persona 3 FES, and for some reason they didn't keep that. They
Hmm.
got rid of all the stuff that's like that had its own tower, like a side tower, kind of like in
Oh,
Persona 5. You have the I can't remember like catacombs or I can't remember what they're called, but it had its own tower that you could progress through. That had all like just tons of extra content, and they
weird. I
ignored
know
all of it. Yeah,
the I know the DLC they have for this one is like from I think from the PSP one where you could play as the girl or something, or
yeah,
like the other campaign.
the
I
robot
know that
girl.
stuff is in this game as DLC content, which is at least it's there. But I get it though. Maybe it's just where they build this from the ground up as a remake. Maybe it's a lot to ask right now. Who knows? You know, you gotta think that whatever was in that version was built off of another game, right? So
True.
yeah, yeah. So um, so yeah, those are the big ones I've been playing, and I beat Bit Troop Rerunner. It's fun little cute platformer. Um, Yeah, I've been enjoying my time with the PS5. I'm not. I've been critical, and I will continue to be critical of Sony right now. I don't like the current PlayStation management or like what they're doing with their games because they basically make one type of game now. They make single player cinematic story game, and they also focus a lot on re-releasing games that aren't even that old. Like
Hmm.
Until Dawn's getting re-released, Spider-Man got re-released, both Last of Us games got re-released,
And that one
fucking
actually, The Last of Us had some.
Horizon,
The
yeah,
Last
it's
of
getting
Us ones. The
re-released.
Last of Us ones had some pretty shady business practices too. Because if I
Did they?
recall, I think they removed like the older ones from the store.
Yeah, it's just it's so gross to me, like what they're doing right now with
Hmm.
that with their games. I have a little bit of hope. I don't have it, but I have played a good bit of Astrobot. I really liked that game. Um, it was really creative and fun. It felt like an outlier in their current catalog, though. Um,
Mm.
and I'm also excited for again their third person single player story games, but I'm excited for Ghost of Yotai and also I wouldn't say I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for the prospect of seeing what that Heretic Naughty Dog game is. The
Mm.
Heretic Prophecy. I want to know what I just want to know what it is. It's a sci-fi Naughty Dog game. Like yeah, I want to see more of it. You know, like I'm sure I'll enjoy it. You know, I don't think I've ever not enjoyed a Naughty Dog game. So I
Hmm.
want to see what they're gonna do with that. So like I have faith in the some of the studios and like that maybe they'll start to shift a little bit. But right now, the current management at Sony again and like what they have put out on PS5, not impressed.
Mm.
Yeah, so um but that's not why I bought a PS5, right?
What do you think
Why
of
I
like
have a
the
PS5.
interface of the PS5?
It's good.
I think it's
I
confusing.
like I mean it's kind of on the same level as the PS4 for me. I don't know if they've had a good. I think the only good interface they've ever had was maybe the PS3 one. I like that one quite a bit with the
The
taskbars that go
taskbar.
up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that one was like pretty straightforward. It's like, oh, I want to go to the settings. It's over here. I want to go to the like my photos. It's over here.
I
It's
don't
like
know that any company has released a good interface ever. Like recently, like within the last 10 years. Cuz like every time I've messed around with one of the new ones, I'm always having to Google like where the fuck is
well,
this?
it's confusing because you're basically now they're basically computers. So you're having to squeeze the interface of a computer onto something you control with the controller. And it's like, how do you do that? Like, how do you? I think the Steam Deck is all right. I like it. The
Steam
Steam
Deck's one
OS
is pretty
interface.
good. It's pretty
Yeah,
good, but
you know,
their
and like
shop
you could
has a lot of
even
problems.
open up. The shop has problems. I'm talking strictly the Steam Deck and the Steam OS
Okay,
interface.
okay.
I think it's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think anyone's really gotten it. Like the perfect one, I wouldn't have to Google usually very simple things. Like I know with the Xbox One, I can't even don't even get me started on Microsoft's thing. You can't even like
I
plug in
think I
a
have Stockholm syndrome from
headset.
that one.
Yeah, I don't
I think
know.
I have Stockholm syndrome from the Xbox Series interface, just because I've been with it so long. So like I understand it, but I could So I think I'm like, no, it's easy, and then I think about it, I'm like, it's not really that easy. I've just been using it for 4 years or
I remember.
whatever.
Yeah, I remember when we played like Back for Blood or something like back in the day,
Yeah,
and just trying to get the hang of like the different things and like how to stream from it and how to do like just like get my headset to work. Like a working headset that's like works with Xbox. I plug in and it just does not work. And it's like, oh, yeah, you have to go change this setting. And I'm like Googling it, like, you have to change this setting. And where's that? It's in the system tray. I'm like, where's the system tray? And it's like, dude, oh my god, I can't stand that. Theirs is the worst. But yeah, PS5s isn't perfect either. I've it's like they have
well, I think part of the issue with the PS5 is that like they have on the home screen they have stuff at the top, and then you can push
exactly
the PlayStation button, and then there's more stuff at the bottom.
right,
And it's
right.
like you couldn't condense some of this stuff. It's like, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
The first time I moved over from PS4 and played a PS5, I was I was so confused on like how to even like turn it off.
Yeah,
I was like, what do I do?
yeah. It's like because the normal menus you bring up, it's like it's not there, and you're like, why isn't it
Yeah.
there? Like why can't it just be at the top where everything else is? It's like no, there's another menu, and it's like two menus. Why not just have one? Yeah,
And
it's
can I ask this? I know the Switch with the Switch interface is awful, but I know the Switch added this feature later on. But why? What is up with game companies and their new consoles? Why can't I just make folders? Just let me make folders, damn it! Guess what? If I want to be like, oh, what was that don't I have a game in this series? And like, guess what? If I own like 400 games, I had to be like click, 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 like all the way through my damn catalog to try to figure out what the hell I was trying to play.
yeah.
Like just let me make a damn folder to be like, oh, okay, here's all the entries in this series, and some of them might have different names and stuff. It's like, it's,
Yeah. Yeah,
what?
well that comes from the idea of like, okay, so but you asked a question earlier, and I think it comes from that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but um you said that they're like PCs now,
Yeah,
but you have to find a way to make them work with a controller. I think that's kind of your deal there. Is they're like,
yeah.
if we want to make it easy, we need to strip away some of the ability that you might have, and I guess that's one of them. Is like, and there's probably an easy way to do it, but they're with the interfaces around what they built, they're like, we just can't feasibly make this easy. So
I think I I
yeah,
think I liked the PS3 one so much, and to some extent the PS4, not as much, but I think I liked them so much because of like the customize, like the more customizable elements, like adding the themes and stuff.
yeah.
You can kind of make it like your home,
Mhm.
which I really like. It's like I said, especially on PS3, they had that hardcore on there. PS4, they also had fun themes too, but like that's something that like a lot of them don't do anymore.
Right.
Is themes really? I think Xbox still does them sometimes, but they just kind of give you random ones. They're like, do you want a theme for Avowed? And I'm like, for what? Uh,
Never
huh?
mind.
Okay. Um, yeah, but it's like even like the fucking even like the 3DS had fun themes after
Yeah.
there near the end. It's like I want that. Like I want to be able to turn on like I would turn on my PS3 and it'd be like, oh, I have my theme set to whatever stupid game I was playing. Shadows of the Damned, and I saw the characters in the background and it had cool music. And I'm like, that's cool. Like
Mhm.
I like that. And it's like you can't make them PCs, so like you gotta make them different and unique. And make me actually like nostalgic for turning them on, and then not just like the sterile interface where I'm like I feel like I'm lost in a hospital trying to figure out where the right
Is
hallway
that how
is.
you feel? Is it?
Yeah. Have you ever been lost in a hospital? In like a really big hospital?
Mm-mm.
I remember one time as a teenager, I got me and a friend. We were there because I forgot it was like somebody was getting. I think like his girlfriend was getting like she like broke her leg and was getting operated on or something. So she was getting back and like getting her operation done, and we went to like the cafeteria, and then we on the way back we got lost in the hospital, and we couldn't figure out how to get back to the correct area, and it's like all the hallways were just like white hallways, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like I remember just being like, "What the fuck? Yeah, we get out of here!"
I feel like I'm stuck in a PS5
Help!
menu.
Yeah, yeah, I said that back in 2008.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel
2008.
like I'm in a PS5 menu right now. Yeah.
That's the profit.
Um. And the last thing I guess I'll say is I did some streaming yesterday with it, and it was easy to do. It was probably the easiest I've had for a console stream, so that was fun. So I'll probably do some more streaming with it.
Okay.
So overall, I've been enjoying it. It is good hardware. The controller battery should last more than 6 hours. Sony, what the fuck? And um, yeah, I'm still not super hype about the current era of PlayStation, but I'm at least gonna enjoy the hardware, and even if I don't play, you know, the second re-release of Horizon, I will enjoy some of the third-party games and whatever else comes to it, because that's all the publishers like Square Enix still prioritize PlayStation a lot, so it's like, guess what? Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out. It'll probably be on PS5 first, you know.
You want to play that?
Play there. Well, I'm just saying, like, I mean, that's what happened with like Final Fantasy Rebirth. I think that's finally coming to PC, like now.
Yeah.
It's like it was on PS5 first, So it's like at least I still have that aspect to look forward to.
There you go. Cool. Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll play some games on it at some point.
Yeah. And we'll talk about some games. When's the Spider-Man Miles Morales episode?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? No, I'm not ready. I haven't even played Miles. I don't even know who this kid is.
I gotta get on it.
Shit. Got a speed run. Speed run. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Man, I was so excited when they announced the PS5. Like, they had that big state of play thing, and they announced like a bunch of games because they were like, "Look, it's Oddworld. Look, it's Sackboy. Look, it's like a cat game." And I was like, "Oh man, they're doing like fun and creative stuff again. I like that. That's why I like Sony. Like, I like when PlayStation does that." And then like, whatever, how many years in we are now, like 3 or 4 years in, it's like, hey, we made Horizon again, but Aloy's face is like kind of fatter now. Can we have $70? No.
Fat face Aloy.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like her face looks a little chubbier. Can we have like $70, please?
$70, please.
Give it here. Oh, I was upset. I have on PS4. I have Gran Turismo 7. Yeah, and I forget what number it was. And Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut.
Mm-hmm.
Now those are PS5 games, but I had the PS4 versions, and you were supposed to be able to put them in the PS5 and get free PS5 upgrades for those. That was timed. You can't do that anymore.
Oh, okay. Bummer.
What the fuck? I own it! I have the disc right here!
Too bad.
For both those games. And I can't I'm not buying it again. Just do like other companies do it. Like I think Final Fantasy VII Remake and like some of the Resident Evil games just do it for free. Like you pop them in. I can pop in my PS4 versions. I haven't yet, but I can pop in like my PS4 versions of like Resident Evil 8, and it's like here's the PS5 one because it's just because. Like Sony, I'm not buying another copy of Gran Turismo 7 or Ghost of Tsushima.
That's literally their business plan, though.
It's so gross. A year. There was a year where you got it for free, and it was like, why?
Because somebody at Sony needed more money. Yeah.
Whatever. I can still play PS4 games on my PS5, so it doesn't matter. I can still play them.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, I'm not. No, awful.
Yeah. That's shit.